you read on. It's wonderful. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome to the Women's Wellness Network. Today we have Sandra Adler, and wait until you hear her speak. She has the most pleasant, wonderful voice. I could talk to her all day. Hello, Sandra. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. I'm always doing great. Thank you for having me. I just love to talk.
Well, that's what we're here for. Perfect. You came to the right place. So, Sandra, okay, first, tell me where you are in the world.
I'm in Florida. I'm in Central Florida, the Tampa
Very,
Bay area.
very nice. Have you always been there?
No, I've just been here for a couple years. I was born in Canada, in Winnipeg, and lived in Red Lake, Ontario most of my life, up by the Hudson Bay, north of Winnipeg, 300 and some miles. And then we moved to America, and we moved to Minnesota.
Oh my.
And I thought, wow, we're going 1,000 miles south. It's going to be so warm. And it was not too much different. So, in the meantime, I have lived in 32 different places on planet Earth.
Wow.
Um, and every time I move somewhere, I learn something new and I reach new people. And so I just listen to my angels and they tell me where to go. And I go there. And so I just love moving. Right now, I'm in Florida, which is the most beautiful weather on planet Earth. And but every place I'm at is always the best place.
That's a good thing.
It is.
Everywhere feels comfortable and like you belong. Well, that's maybe because you listen to your inner self that says, go here, and you go there, and it's great.
Ex- exactly. And it's a technique that I learned in 1976 when I went to a lecture about the Inner Peace Movement International. And they talked about who you are, why you're here, where you came from, where you're going, the big picture of what life is all about. And I was amazed because I had never heard any of that because they don't teach that in school. And my parents didn't know that. But when I heard that, I said, well, that all makes sense. And then the lady says, and for those of you who are interested, I can show you how to communicate a two-way communication system with your guardian angels or your spiritual guides or your ascended masters or your great white spirit or your Holy Spirit or whatever you call them. And so I said, oh, I won't be able to do that. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in angels. And anyway, I eventually did it. And it was the most important day of my life, May 13th, 1976. I'll never forget that day. And she showed me how to get answers. And then she says, now we're going to practice. And so she said, ask your angels if they love you. And I got such a strong, positive response. It was overwhelming. I just broke down and sobbed. I was crying, crying, crying. I said, how can they love me when I don't even believe in them? And my parents didn't even love me, and I don't even love myself. And anyway, so that was the beginning of my spiritual awakening, the beginning of my life. Because from then on, I asked everything. And that same day, I went home and I started asking all the questions I've ever had in my mind in my whole life. And I asked them things like, have I ever lived in a physical body before? And then I said, and how many lifetimes have I done that? And have I ever lived in France? Because je parle français un petit peu. And so I got, yes. And so all the questions that I ever wanted to know, I got the answers for. And at that point in my life, I was in Ann Arbor, Michigan, at the University of Michigan, getting my PhD in guidance and counseling. And I went to class and I said, "You guys won't believe what I just experienced." And I told them all about this. And I said, "So here we are reading all these great psychologists, Jung and Freud and all this stuff that we had to do." And I said, "But I don't have to do that. I can just ask my helpers. They know everything. And I can just ask them and they'll tell me all the answers." Well, anyway, that was the beginning. They wanted to come to my apartment and hear all about this. And eventually, somebody gave me the opportunity to travel around the world talking about it. So I said, "Sign me up, pack my bags, I'm on my way." And I was scared to death. But I was I had taken a sabbatical from teaching, and being in a classroom was such a small picture for me. And when I got an opportunity to travel to Europe, I was just so excited. So I did that from 1980 to 2001.
Oh, that's
Australia, New Zealand, Puerto Rico, all across Canada, all across the United States, England, Ireland, Scotland, um, everywhere they spoke English. And I shared about who we are, why we're here, where we came from, where we're going. And if they wanted a private consultation, I could show them how to talk to their angels and get all their answers. And the thing about that that's so important for me is that growing up, I would want something, and my parents would say, "No, you don't want that." Or I would want to do something. They said, "No, that you try to do this instead." Or they never encouraged me. And so every time I had a feeling about something, I had self doubt.
oh,
I
mhm.
didn't trust myself. And I think for women, um, that's a biggie. Maybe for all people, that's a biggie. You're not trusting ourselves. And I'm mainly talking about spiritual wellness. That's the category that I'm focusing in on, because if my spiritual part is on board, is if my spiritual part is crystal clear, if my spiritual part is one with the universe, then my physical body's healthy, my relationships with people are great, I love my work, it flows down from my spiritual wellness. If my spirit is intact, in sync with the universe, and feeling one with all things, everything else in my life is great. And if something goes off or something, I'll say, "Oh, what did I learn from that? What am I supposed to be learning from that?" Because there's no bad thing happening. Everything's happening for my benefit. And
Right.
as long as I realize that, I can say, "Well, what am I learning? What do I need to learn from that?" And so life is exciting all the time. And I forget where I was going with all that, but I don't know
Well, that's
where I
okay.
was. I got sidetracked. I sidetracked myself.
Well, that's the universe saying, it's okay. We're going to go in a different direction or something, right? We're saving that for later. Who knows?
Right?
Right?
Right.
So in all your adventures, I'm noticing your artwork in the back. Was that something that you picked up after your spiritual awakening or before?
Well, to be honest, when I was a little girl, about 2 or 3 years old, I had watercolors, paints in a little circular oval things. Um, and I was painting, and my mother said, "Oh, that looks like a real tree. Oh my gosh, that looks." And so I was born with talent,
Mhm.
and I was an artist in a past lifetime. So that's how it kids who are playing the piano when they're 3 years old, that's because they've been musicians when they were in another lifetime. Um, we just bring our talents with us. So, but when I was teaching school, and when I was a school counselor, and when I was traveling around the world for 20 years, I didn't have time to do all that. But I'm retired. So being retired means I can do anything I want to do. So I paint when I want to relax.
Mhm.
I have written books. I've written 12 children's books called Me and My Universe, a spiritual encyclopedia for children. I'm getting those published. But I got one published in December on Amazon. I'm going to show it to you.
Yes, please.
It's called Saturdays at Kieran's.
Mhm.
You can get it at Amazon.com. And it's a book for children, for parents, grandparents, teachers, counselors. And what it is all the stuff that I have learned spiritually and all the things I've learned from working with kids for 20 years to help them so they don't have to want to commit suicide or be in a gang or take drugs or have low self-esteem. All the things that kids are going through today and have always gone through, but now it's more pronounced. And I was a suicide survivor because I didn't want to live, because my life was terrible at the beginning. And until I learned how to talk to my angels, and because I guess that's what I was talking about before, not having any doubt. Because now, when I get an impression about something, I can say, angels, is that in my best interest to do such and such? Like I make a decision to be on this network and to do an interview. Angels, is that in my best interest? And they said yes. So I'm doing it and I don't have any doubt. So everything that I do now, I do not doubt myself. And I'm saying if anybody wants to learn how to do this, there are people on this network that
Mhm.
are certified by the Way Showers College how to do it, and it doesn't cost that much. And I mean, there are people, I can name them. There's Paul
Sure.
Kellogg and Susan Kellogg and Sandra Kellogg and Richard Lassiter and Dawn Overstreet, Kathleen Ellis. There are so many people, and Sandra Adler, so many people that are trained how to communicate with their angels and how to teach other people how to do it. Because once you learn how to do it, you're free.
Right.
You're free because everybody can tell you their opinion because everybody has one, and everybody can make suggestions because everybody has them. But what you feel inside is your truth. And
Mhm.
so if I feel something, I can check with them. Is that coming from you, my angels? Is that coming from somebody outside of me? What is me? What is not me? I know everything about me.
Right.
And the only way I can get any information about you is if you give permission to your spiritual helpers to let a person in and get that information. They can't get it just be snooping and invading your boundaries and your privacy. No, no, it doesn't work that way because your angels are protecting you. But if you want somebody that you can trust to know information about you, you let them give them permission, and so they can do it. So that's what happens when you go to psychics and readers and all that. You give them permission and then they pick it up. And the clearer a person is, the more accurate the information is. And we also teach the technique how to become clear so that you know that you are communicating with your angels. And I'll give you a hint. If you got the goosebumps, that's it. You're because your goosebumps are like a little electric shock on your skin, and that's when your energy is raised up to the energy of your angels, and when they touch you, it's a little electric shock and you get goosebumps. And that's what goosebumps are all about. So you want to get goosebumps. So if you have goosebumps, you're clear
I'm having
that your
them right
angels,
now.
oh
I'm having them right now.
my God. So they're telling you, yes, that's true.
Absolutely.
And your angels are right there with you. And that means you're right now doing your life purpose.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Yes, thank you. It feels that way. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
And you can trust it because you got chills.
Right? It's amazing. I love those things, right? The little signals that you get, the little signs that say, yeah, you're doing it right. Keep going. Yeah, that's amazing. Well,
Yes,
oh,
yes.
sorry.
So putting all my spiritual wisdom together with all my information that I've learned from kids, I learned about kids, I wrote that book.
Mm,
And Saturdays at Kieran's is a book. It's a spiritual book, but it's a book that helps kids who are thinking about suicide or being bullied in school. And it gives them solutions, suggestions, and makes them feel great about themselves and great about the other kids that are there at Kieran's house. And it's great for parents, grandparents, and teachers and counselors because even though parents are doing the best they know how, grandparents are doing the best they know how. They love those grandkids and they want to help them. Teachers are
yeah.
stressed out. I mean, I've been one, and they're doing the best they know how, but there's nobody that's helping them. And this little book gives the solutions so you know what to say to a child who's telling you that they don't like themselves or they wish they were dead or whatever.
Right.
And there's all the solutions are in this little teeny book. Saturdays at Kieran. So I hope everybody buys them for every child they know. I hope all the teachers get them for all the kids in their classrooms. I hope they become curriculum guides in the school for spiritual education because spiritual makes everybody think religious.
Yeah.
And so the word spiritual is it's it turns a lot of people off.
Hmm.
But spiritual just means to being loving, kind, sharing, feeling one with all things, being compassionate, helpful, um, courageous, enthusiastic. That's being spiritual. And this book is called Saturdays at Kieran's Meeting the Edifiers, and that's meeting the kids that are the center of the book. Kieran is a girl from India, and she's in school, and the teacher says, I want you all to write a poem about yourselves and introduce yourselves to the class. And they moan and groan. And Karen says, I love to write poetry. If you want to come to my house on Saturday, I'll help you with your poem. So on Saturday, 10 kids show up, two African American, two Asian American, two Latinos, one Jewish girl, one Native American boy, Cherokee, one LGBTQ kid, and one bully. And they show up at Kieran's and they start talking about all these issues that they're going through. And she, with her great wisdom that she has learned from Mahatma Gandhi when she lived in India, starts sharing with them that they are a soul with a physical body. They're here for a reason. It's called their life purpose. And no two people have the same life purpose. If they don't do it, it just doesn't get done because they're the only ones that can do it. And that's how important they are. And all of a sudden, they're starting to feel great about themselves. And then she shows them how to work together in a little group work situation so that they can help each other because these kids are going to be our leaders of tomorrow.
Right.
And when they grow up, they're going to be the example of what it's like to work in unison and become unifiers and heal the division that we have in our world today. I mean, this is my personal goal, is if I can get enough books out there to help enough kids so that when they grow up, we can heal all this stuff that's going on. Boy, I have certainly been doing my life purpose. And this is the first book. The second book is called Saturdays at Kieran's, Becoming Selfless. And in this book, the spiritual message is giving without expecting anything in return. Not money, not a gift, not a thank you, just giving because it feels so good to help someone. And little kids know what that is because little kids just want to help all the time. You know, can I erase the board? Can I take out the trash? Can I? They want to help. And so to bring that back out into everybody because it's all inside of us, it's just all squished down. So becoming selfless. And that's the big message in my second book. And the third book is called Saturdays at Kieran's, Finding Forgiveness. And in this book, they learn how to forgive their parents because their parents did the best they knew how, even though things were pretty rough for a lot of them. And because forgiving is good for me because I don't want to have any baggage or hold any grudges. And so that's the big message in the third book. I have so many books ready to go. I'm in my 80s. I'm not ready to pass on yet because I have too much work to do. And so anyway, the book is Saturdays at Kieran's is available on Amazon.com. And it's I don't know, $13, $14. It's not very much. And the other books are in process. And the exciting thing about it is that now when I get the second book published, it's going to be by a best-selling author
Right.
because my first book's a bestseller. So that's so exciting. And then the other books that I've got written already, they're poetry books. They're poetry books for children. This, the Spiritual Encyclopedia for Children is 12 poetry books. And they're written like Dr. Seuss.
Oh,
Like the first book is called My Body. The second book is called The Real Me, and that's the part that lives inside my body. And the first book starts off with My body is mine. It belongs to no other, not my mother, father, sister, or brother. I picked my mom and I picked my dad to give me the best body I ever had. And they all go like that with that kind of rhyming thing. And because kids love that Dr. Seuss rhyming style. I mean, and not only kids love it,
I
adults love
feel
it
like
too.
it.
I love it.
I think this is why I was enjoying when I first discovered you on I guess on ENTV and you were reading a book and I'm like, oh, oh, I love this. Oh, read me some more, read me some more. Because it's so fun. And I really wish that I would have had these books myself growing up. All the reasons that you said, right? Not loving yourself, feeling out of place, having suicidal thoughts, being bullied, like all the things. And they would have been so helpful. And I just think of all the people now and with the world being so topsy-turvy and, a lot of fear out there and all the things, this would really give kids a good grounding, a good something to actually hold on to and get an understanding of, because like you said, your parents didn't know and my parents didn't really teach me either. So having that little bit of foundation is like huge.
That's my hope. And if I had had that, I wouldn't have had the troubles that I had growing up. But I believe that we all go through what we're supposed to go through. I was supposed to be beaten and tortured and all that stuff because I learned from it
Right.
and I healed myself. And now I can pass the wisdom on to others. And I think all of us are doing the same thing. If everything that's ever happened to us, we think, oh, it's been bad. What a what terrible things have been done to us. But if we can figure out the spiritual message behind it, what it is that we've learned, how we can help others through our learning, well, that's what life on planet Earth is all about, because we're here for two reasons. One, to learn about ourselves, and two, to help others. So learning about ourselves is always something positive. Everything you learn about yourself is positive. All the stuff you don't like, well, that's not you anyway. That's something you learn from society or your parents or school or somewhere, but that's not you, because the real you is loving, caring, sharing, understanding, one with all things, non judgmental. That's the real you. Everything else is not you.
And we don't need
So
to
it's
carry
so much
all
fun.
that.
No, no, it's not you. And so then once you realize that you are great and that you have a fabulous life purpose and you're here to help others, there's no stopping.
Right? Right. Those two things, you said those two things, and those two things I live by myself. The silver linings are the things that you get from all that, stuff that's not so favorable, but all those lessons that you can take and turn into something amazing. And then uncovering your own heart of gold and giving it back is like those two things are like super important to me. And I love that you have something that can help, especially like little people. I still want to read those books. I want to read them for myself because I think it just has a good feeling, you know what I mean? And to be able to put that in the hands of some little person who's just starting to figure out things and asking questions and having some understanding about who they are, because they don't know they're an individual until they get a little bit older, but knowing that they're not alone ever is amazing.
It's true. Never, everybody has at least one helper. And if you're here to work with things or ideas, you'll have one or two helpers because you know how to do mechanical things or whatever. But if you're here to work with people, you're going to have three or more helpers because you need a lot of help working with people. So everybody has helpers, and
Difficult.
everybody can read my books for free.
Oh,
Now, if you want to read those 12 books for free, you go to my website, sandraadler.com, and you click on About Me. And then a page comes up where you can put in your email address. And your email address, from that, I automatically send you a link to all my 12 books. And you can read them all. They're all on my website. Everybody can read them for free. And they're eventually going to be published by Amazon and with a soft cover. But right now, if you give me your email address, you get them for free. And what I do with that email address is I don't sell it or give it to anybody else, but I will keep you updated when the next book is going to be published. So it's like a book email address. So you know when my next books are coming out. But for doing that, you get all 12 books free. So go to sandraadler.com, read all those cute little books. And if you like them, read them to your kids or your grandchildren.
right. And when the hard copy or the soft cover comes out, then we can buy them and we can give them as gifts. I can't wait. I can't wait. I have somebody to give one to already. She's just turning 5, and I can't wait to get the first book and give it to her for her birthday. So that's exciting for me.
Oh, and also on my website, if you click on my paintings, you'll see all my paintings are on
Oh,
there. And if you click on another little thing, it's called Media Resources. You can see hundreds of newspaper articles written about me from all across the globe. As I
wow.
traveled for 20 years, I had hundreds and hundreds of newspaper interviews, TV, radio, and so on. And all the articles are on my website. So you can read all that stuff too. I mean, there's so much stuff on my website. It's worth it to go to sandraadler.com.
It sounds like it. Yes, it sounds like there's like you have your encyclopedia for little people, and then you have your encyclopedia for us. It sounds like you've been
Everything I do and everything I've done is on the website.
awesome. Awesome. We'll make sure we put that in the comments because, definitely, I'm sure there must be some people who want to at least read the free books, if nothing else, right? Like, yeah, that's like amazing. That's such a nice offering. Thank you so much for you doing
they're,
that.
they're for spiritual wellness, women's wellness, spiritual wellness. And once you have that part together in your life, your physical body gets healed, your relationships are fabulous. You love what you do and you do what you love. Everything falls into place.
I feel that. I think that's really true. Honestly, I think that's it strikes a place, right? It strikes a place. And I know on the Women's Wellness Network, we did a poll recently stating the 8 facets of wellness. And the number one that people are interested in is spirituality. And I think that
Wow.
is, yeah, it's a trend. We're just starting to open up to this stuff. We're on the masses, right? And some of us have been doing it for a little while, but now everybody's like interested and they're wondering, Sandra, how are you so happy? How are you look so lovely? Why are you so upbeat? What's going on with you? And myself too, like, how does that happen? So these are the paths that we're all starting to kind of, see open up and yeah, having somebody like yourself that has a little guidance to give, and everybody from every age, it would seem. Um, yeah, it's timely and it's necessary and it's I believe it's going to be well received. So yeah, thank you so much. I can't wait to get in your get in your webpage and start checking it out.
Well, every religion, Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, all of them, they all started out with love and being one with all things. And then they got dogma and theology and things mixed up in it, and people's opinions.
Right.
And so it became something that they tell you how to believe,
Mm.
what to believe. And spirituality, nobody tells you what to believe. You just believe whatever you feel inside, whatever great ideas you have, and how much love you feel for the plants and animals and people and the whole universe. Um, that that's what spirituality is: compassion and love. So it's not against any religion.
No.
It just enhances anybody's religion. And to realize that we're all energy, we're all made of atoms and molecules, and so is the universe. Everything is. So we're all one. If I hurt, you can feel it.
Mm.
If I feel great, you can feel it, because we're one with each other. We're one with all things. So that's spiritual.
That's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. Yes. Well, I'm going to say this is probably a lovely spot to end our conversation, even though I could probably talk for another half an hour. I love listening to you. I don't love talking to you because I want to hear you, but I know we have to have a conversation and I have to talk some. But it's been fabulous. I love your work. I love your energy. I love your you radiate. And this is, I think this is you're a way shower, as we know, and your own light is what draws us. And yeah, thank you for being you, and thank you for providing all the things that you've done for us, because we need to learn and heal from each other, and you're doing that
You
for us.
you know that what you see in me, you have in you. Because if you didn't have it, you couldn't see it.
Thank you.
So I say thank you, and same to you.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you everybody for watching. And I know you want to connect with Sandra because she's absolutely amazing, a light in our world. And we'll put the information for her in the comments so that you can connect with her. And yes, thank you so much, Sandra, for coming today. You're a beautiful part of the Women's Wellness Network. And yeah, thank you for coming and sharing yourself with us.
Thank you so much for doing your life purpose and offering this opportunity to people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandra. All right, everybody, have an excellent evening. And until next time, be well.